Good morning, good afternoon, Shawne. I've lost sense of time, track of day. How are things with you? Day, whatever this is of stay at home, work at home.
I'm getting through it. It's it's a little bit different for me. Well, a lot different because I'm an early riser. First thing I do when I get up in the morning, I go to the gym and I start my day.
Right.
And that's I've been doing that since I can remember. So for the first time, I have to find different ways to work out. If there's an open area out in the field somewhere, or like a open hill or mountain I can run up that's not closed, then I'll go and try to do that. But it's been tough, but getting through it just like everyone else. So just trying to figure out how to do some of these home workouts. If a buddy of mine has a open garage with a little bit of weights or some just plyometric stuff, I can do an open field. Something that's not closed, I'll try to get there. But it's for someone like me, it's been pretty tough.
Okay, what are certain things that you can go ahead and do your home? If for your listeners, for your fans that are out there that are watching from this home, what are certain simple things that you can do at home that maybe you wouldn't have thought about normally?
One, you can get a lot done at home. I don't know if you have someone living below you or not, but they might not like you about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
If you can get a 40 or 45-minute circuit in, anything that really keeps your heart rate up. And I'm talking about abs to push-ups to, different kind of dips or air squats, mountain climbers. I mean, you can get a lot of things done, but at a certain point, I think that most people are going to see this. You'll start to hit a wall with those workouts aren't as effective because you're limited.
Yeah.
But there are some things that you can get done and try to pass up some of this time that we have on our hands.
For somebody like people like me, like running at the beach every morning, or I used to do that. I don't do that now because here in San Diego, the beaches, the boardwalks are closed. So I'm on the street. But for so many people, like working is like working out's a relief. It's a relieve stress and tension. It helps you get your blood going. What are you doing to keep your mind occupied and not go crazy? Because I think we're only a couple weeks in, and I think right now people are coming together and for the most part following the rules, but as time goes on, what can you do to just mentally just to keep it together?
Well, that's another thing that's been tough because a lot of businesses are shut down, right?
Yeah.
So after I'm done working out at 8:30 in the morning, then it's business. Whether it's working with lights out with the league or lights out the apparel or something else, there's always something to be done. So I've still been able to do some things, but the fact of the matter is, a lot of things are on hold right now because people aren't working as much. Most companies that I was working with or dealing with in general are worried about whether they're going to lay guys off, employees off, how they're going to, really stay above water. So, I've kind of been patient from that standpoint, but it has been difficult trying to get things done. And, I really wish I say this because I've, been an athlete my whole life, that working out has been a relief. It's, whether stress relief or anxiety, emotion, or whatever it is, you feel a lot better when you work out. I wish there was a way to get through this, allow people to still do something to get away from it for a minute.
Now, you were a first-round pick of the Chargers, 2005, I think it is. Could you imagine being like a prospect for this year's draft and trying to get ready when you can't do your normal workouts, you can't meet with trainers, you can't meet with teams or take physicals, you're putting on a workout on Zoom? How challenging would it be for an athlete right now to go and prepare for the draft?
It's got to be tough because you're like you just said early on. I mean, being an athlete, you're stuck in this routine for so long. And one day your routine it's just stopped. You got to find a way to be active.
Yeah.
And if you have a specific trainer you like to work with, if you like to go and do field work in some places, maybe the park is closed, a high school or college where you were working out at is closed down, and they're not letting people work out in certain places. I've heard a lot of that. So guys have to find a way, but this is going to go down in history. And something that we'll never forget because, especially the rookies coming in, but you're going into you're going to the NFL, and you want to be prepared as much as possible to be ready to go. And some of these guys just aren't going to be as prepared as they would if this didn't happen.
Which leads me now to transitioning perfectly into my next question or my next heart. Philip Rivers, your former quarterback, your former teammate. Now he is at least he was with the Colts. Glad he's with the Colts, but he's going to be with an offense that he's familiar with Frank Reich and Nick Sirianni. We worked with, in San Diego. What did you think of the move of Philip Rivers going to the Colts?
I had a feeling that he was going to end up there. I seen some of the reports, and two teams were coming back. I think it was the Bucs or the Colts. At the end of the day, I think one more team was thrown in there, but the Colts made the most sense.
Yeah.
And what they're building over there, what they already have, that offensive line. They got T.Y. Hilton. I wouldn't be surprised if they go and draft another big play wide receiver in this draft to give him another target. So they have targets. And, I made this statement a few weeks ago. I was on a Pat McAfee show.
Okay.
And people got all upset when I compared Tom Brady and Philip Rivers. And, look, I'm not saying that one's better than the other. Obviously, Tom will go down as the greatest quarterback ever. But I do believe that Philip Rivers has more left in the tank than Tom does physically. Last year, Philip took a lot of hits. I don't know if it's the most hits of his career, but it had to have been somewhere up there. He threw a lot of those passes under the distress. And I'm not making excuses for his interceptions or forcing things when he shouldn't have forced them. But when you're getting hit like that as a quarterback, it plays into your mental on how much time you really have to throw the football. So hopefully, he'll be in a better position now where he'll be able to perform, and there won't be any excuses.
People will look at the numbers from last year and they will focus on the interceptions. I think he was second in the league to Jameis Winston, but how much of that was the offensive line? Russell Okung missed a good portion of that season with serious health issues. Pouncey was out, his neck issues. Not sure what his situation is going to be. They had a lot of young, untested players at tackle. So, I would think that
Forrest Lamp as well went down for a year.
Forrest Lamp's he's been injured since he was drafted. He's just an uphill battle for that kid. But how much of that was his offensive line? And to your point, he's going to the Colts. They've really invested first round picks, second round pick in free agency. They built their offensive line the right way.
Yeah, I think it's going to be night and day. I go back and when I'm watching a lot of the games, I'm looking and saying that's not Philip. He can sometimes be a turnover machine and make some bad decisions because he go out and force the football. But I would look, and half of them throws just wasn't him. It was just his competitive spirit trying to go out and win a game that he shouldn't put himself into to do. So I'm happy for him. I'm also happy with the Chargers because sometimes you need to change the scenery. Once you've been there for so long, it can go both ways. Sometimes you get taken for granted, and what you really brings for a team. And he's been through the battle. He's been on some great teams. He's been on some pretty bad teams.
Yep.
For a couple of years. And once you can withstand all of that, you can still have the mentality to want to go out and compete. That's a different level of player. And also from the Chargers standpoint, hey, it's open the doors to build your organization for the next 5 years. If Philip wasn't a guy that you thought you can build a team around for the next couple of years or so, then you make a move. But then also you can see what you have or what you had at the same time.
I do want to get back into what the Chargers might do at quarterback there, but I think to your point on Philip Rivers, I would think a whole change of scenery. I'm thinking the last 5 years or so must have been extremely tough. Because if the last couple of years in San Diego, the last 2 years were all about relocation. Are they going to move?
Right.
Are they going to move? Then they went 4-12, and they went 5-11. The first 3 years in Carson, that had to be that wore on Philip Rivers. I remember when LT went to the Jets. And he was like, he wanted to be in San Diego. He wanted to stay with the Chargers, but he was like rejuvenated going to a new organization. So I really hope it happens for Philip Rivers because, man, that's one guy. Gates didn't get to win a ring. LT never did. I hope Philip gets a chance. I think he's going to a darn good, a very good team. Yeah, your Chargers. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm with it too.
What are your Chargers going to do? Now, I know Tyrod Taylor says, watch out. He can be the guy. Do you think they should kick the tires on Cam Newton or even Jameis Winston?
Yeah, well, the thing is with Jameis, if you're worried about the turnover situation,
30-30 guy.
Right. Even though he can light you up, he is a big play quarterback. It's just the situations he put his team in by throwing those interceptions. I talked to Cam Newton and at the Super down at the in Miami at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And we got a chance to talk. I was over at Eden. I had a lot of friends over there with me. We were at Prime 112, and I seen him walk in. When I seen him, he sat down, and I darted over there because I wanted to know. I said, "Dude, what we doing?" He started to laugh at me, so I kind of I stayed over there for a couple minutes, about 5 minutes or so. And we were just talking back and forth, and I know that he wouldn't mind coming. He wants to come to the Chargers. I do know that. But at the time, I believe that he believed that they were higher on Tom Brady. So that wasn't going to happen. He also believed that that the Panthers was not going to let him go. Even if he did want to go, they wasn't going to let him go, which he didn't. He didn't say that he wanted to get out of there. He was completely shocked and blindsided by that, that they gave him the opportunity and they brought in Teddy Bridgewater. But it'd be a great fit. If I'm Cam Newton or the Chargers at that point, I would do a short-term deal. I would do a 1 or 2 year deal. For Cam, it would let the league know that he's back 100%. He's back to the Cam Newton that we've seen for the past, several years. It will let the team know and of getting. Look, you got a new stadium. You got all this, stuff that's happening right now, and I mean, people are going to be looking for some kind of boost, some kind of like positive morale, something to happen. I do think he can bring a lot of excitement. Is he healthy? Nobody really knows, but I can tell you that he's been working his tail off as he's been posting on his IG. But even when I seen him in person, I was like, man, this dude, he just looks like a different animal. He just looks like he's ready to go. And so I'm happy for him in that standpoint. But it's funny. I don't want to big up another quarterback. Even when I was talking about drafting somebody, whatever, I don't want to kick Tyrod Taylor to the curb either. It's not like he can't play, but I just feel that that he's not going to be a long-term solution. So if you're going to roll with Tyrod, do it. And I think Tyrod can go out and win some games for you, and then you still go draft the quarterback. So that's really where the key is.
If you're in the AFC, let me ask you this question, okay? If you're in the AFC West and you already know, listen, you know the team to beat right now, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. It's Patrick Mahomes. Can you expect to compete in the AFC West? And that's a very talented roster they have. Defensively, what they've added, the skill position players and offense. Can you compete? Can you compete with Tyrod Taylor at quarterback?
Well, you're going to need a total team effort. And I'm not saying that Tyrod can't go out and light you up and have a good game. We've seen flashes of what he can do even when he was with the Bills. I mean, he had flashes that he can go out and get things done. But when you're playing the best quarterback in the league twice a year, and Denver's also gotten better. The Raiders also got better, and that's what happens. I mean, I remember the times we used to go, we just smashed the Raiders. It was like a stat game for us. I remember those days too, man. Yeah, it was just that. I mean, we came and we would just smash the Raiders left and right. And what happened was, over a certain period of time, my last year with the Chargers, they beat us because you can only have these so many years of bad play. You're drafting top 10 talent. What happened was they finally caught up to us and able to go out and we lost a game up there. So the division has gotten better, and they have to get better because you got Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. So you have to make any drastic moves you possibly can to win right now, or at least compete. Because if you can compete, you're gonna if you can steal a game from them, and you guys split a game down the middle, and you beat Denver twice, and you go and beat get a game or two from the Raiders, then it automatically is going to put you in a better position. So the object of it is being able to have total team play, which they made the Chargers made a lot of big moves this offseason. I mean, I have to give it up for Tom Telesco because he really went after it this offseason, bringing in, Chris Harris and beefing up that offensive line and bringing guys.
Yeah.
This is his greatest offseason since he's been there. As far as the amount of moves that he's made.
Yeah, I wish it could have happened for Phillip. No, he did. Listen, he's made those moves. And he did make those moves for Phillip a couple of years ago, adding in Russell Okung and Pouncey. Just health-wise, that's it. It didn't work out for them, so maybe it'll work out for them this time. Okay, then last thing. You're the Chargers. What do you think they're going to do? Do you think they draft a quarterback, Justin Herbert, if he's there? Tua? I mean, it's risky. When you can't work these guys out right now, I don't know how this draft is so unusual, but what do you think they're going to do? Take a quarterback, or do you think they go with Tyrod Taylor, maybe you add in a free agent quarterback to compete as well?
Yeah, you definitely draft. Now, I don't know who to draft because no one really knows what Tua's health is. I just seen he came out today and said he's 100% and he can go play right now, which could very well be the case. But, we all know that the game speed is different from you going to throw a football in open field when you got, guys like myself running around the field and trying to chase people. You got to see Von Miller twice a year or whatever. But, if he's healthy and he slips to however many picks for the Chargers pick, then you draft him. He's number one if you can get that, because he's a guy that, yes, he's mobile, he can run, and I know he has the injury, but he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in college football ever. So that shows you that he doesn't necessarily need his legs right away to go and make plays. He can throw the football. So if he's there, you take him. If not, you go with Love or Herbert. Both of these guys, I like Herbert maybe a little bit over Love because I like his demeanor. I think that his stature comes in and he can walk right into an NFL huddle and take charge, and people are going to believe in him. I think he can play right away. So first, if Tua's there, you ride with Tua, you flip a coin on that. Hopefully he's healthy and he's a player that we watched in college football, or you go with Love. Go with Herbert in my personal opinion.
Shawne, this was a lot of fun. It felt good. It almost felt therapeutic for me to even talk football. I have no idea if there's going to be a football season. I do hope so, but this was a lot of fun. So stay safe. Keep us posted on your workouts. I need your inspiration. And what plans do you have? What movies are you going to watch? What else are you doing to go ahead and just have a good time and, keep following the rules and staying at home?
I'm watching series now left and right. The last year, I saw the Tiger King just like everybody else. It was completely wild. I did. After it was like one of those car accident, right? You just slow down. You got to watch and see what's going on, and you don't want to watch, you don't want to see, but it's so crazy that you got to kind of watch a little bit. I watched The Outsiders, The Strangers. I'm done with all those series, so I'm getting my series on right now.
Ozark, have you seen that?
I've seen Ozark. I got to catch back up on it again. I watched the complete first season, but I got to catch back up on it.
Let me tell you this. Holy crap, season 3. It's going to take your breath away. No spoilers. I'm going to be quiet right now. But let's catch up. Let's do this again. This is a lot of fun.
Done. You got it.